Hello everyone, I am in Harvey Bay. We're on a little family holiday and my husband Gianna's out deep sea fishing, so I am waiting for him to get back. Hopefully bring me back some yellowfin tuna and yummy delicious other stuff. But I've been thinking about something recently and I kind of wanted to do just a little video on it, and it is, are your health issues coming from mold? Now I've seen on social media and a lot of groups I'm in, people are constantly saying oh, mold is the reason, or this is the problem, or this is where your health issues are coming from. And while I definitely agree that there are problems with mold, definitely, not disagreeing, the problem I have is more pointing a finger at one problem and saying, oh, your problems are coming from this one thing. And so it's not necessarily mold, but I just see it a lot where people are saying, oh, it comes from candida, or oh, it's mold, or I don't know, I guess a mercury amalgam, or, just something like that, a B2 deficiency, methylation issues. These are just some examples. And I think as humans, we really like to try to latch on to, this is the one thing causing my health issues, this is it. And I think that gives us clarity, and it helps us kind of understand what's going in our body. It makes us feel like we do. So for example, like I said, oh, it's candida that's causing my symptoms. Candida is causing my leaky gut, my brain fog, and all this stuff. And mold is the same, and it seems kind of like every few years there's a new boogeyman. Mold, gluten, seed oils, and totally these are all things that are not helpful for sure. But I think we do a disservice to ourselves when we try to pinpoint the one thing that is causing all of our health problems, because realistically, I've worked with a lot of clients and myself, and I just see this a lot. And yeah, like I said, it's just causing a disservice when we try to pinpoint it to one thing, because the reality is, is that when we have a health issue, maybe you have fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue or something like that, or food intolerances, it's usually decades of our choices, and some of it we are fully a victim of. You don't get to choose how you're born. You don't get to choose if you're given antibiotics as a baby, or if you're breastfed or bottle fed, or if you are given all of the 500 of those. You really don't get to make those decisions, but at the same time, we do make decisions for decades, and I'm raising my hand because I did as well. What we eat, there are just so many decisions in our life that people make for us or we make for ourselves, and it's not about blame. It's just realizing that our health issues are not the product of one thing that we've done. They are a product of decades of choices. And so so maybe you were born cesarean and given antibiotics, and then you're bottle fed, and then you're given antibiotics for this, and then you're the main one, you're eating the standard American diet for 20 years, and then you're on the swim team and you swim in chlorine pools every day for, 5-10 years. That was me. And then maybe you're given mercury amalgams in your teeth, those silver fillings that are 50% mercury, that we're chewing and off-gassing all the time. You're exposed to maybe glyphosates. The point is, there's so many different layers of health issues. And then what I see often is people turn maybe in their 30s or 40s or 20s, something happens and it triggers all these symptoms. So it's kind of like you've built up all these layers of unhealth and stress on your body. That's basically what they are, stress. Mercury amalgams, chlorine in the water, glyphosate in your food, antibiotics, not eating probiotics, blah, blah, blah. And then you get something, maybe it's this, the most recent thing, maybe it's you get an amalgam in your tooth, maybe it's you catch COVID. These are just things I've heard recently from people that have seemed to trigger things out of nowhere. And I totally get that it feels like it's out of nowhere, but the truth is it isn't out of nowhere. It's out of all these different layers that are compounding. It's kind of like you're starting a fire and you're putting all these logs on it, and then just one day you get that spark, whether it's this or mold or something, and it seems to spark it, and it just triggers autoimmunity or all these reactions and health issues. So is mold actually a problem? The short answer is yes, it's definitely a problem. Mold is something that breaks down things. That's why your apples, your cucumbers, things in your fridge, they get moldy. It's breaking down that food. It's decomposing it. The problem with mold most of the time is that it's decomposing like toxic elements. So we make these houses and we put like this toxic carpet that's off-gassing. Our beds have, what's it called? Is it bromide in it? The flame retardant that depletes your iodine. And then we're painting them with toxic paint on the walls, or maybe, you know, I don't know, 50 years ago they were putting asbestos in the house. So the problem isn't always necessarily the mold, because mold is a naturally occurring thing, but it's when you have mold on, my husband just got back and I know they have fish and I'm excited. I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. Yeah, so when we have mold in our house, and what it's doing is it's breaking down that toxic paint, and it's actually releasing toxins from the paint, or, you know, the asbestos in the walls, or whatever else it is. So yes, definitely a problem. But what I want to say, the point of this is, we shouldn't put all the blame on something, whether it's mold or even this, you know, some sort of thing. Sorry, I just don't want to get banned for saying the wrong thing. You know how it is. The point is, we can't just blame one thing, because when we do that, it actually makes our life a lot harder. What we need to do is we need to address all those layers of health. We need to start with diet. We need to open up our detox pathways, because okay, if we just blame, let's say, mold for our health issues, and honestly, maybe it is, and maybe you have fibromyalgia and you really need to get out of that moldy house. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying it's not an issue. The problem is, if you don't address all the other layers, you are now totally just like a victim of mold. You have to move into a new house, you have to change your whole life, probably get rid of all your clothes, and if you don't address the detox pathways, eating healthy, removing the other toxic elements in your body that are stressing it and burdening it, your quality of life and your freedom and everything just goes down, because now you can't go to your cousin's wedding in Seattle because it's moldy, or you can't go stay in this hotel or go on this holiday or go out to eat at this restaurant. I even hear people like they can't go out to restaurants because they have mold. And your diet even gets more and more restricted because, you know, you can't have peanuts, you can't have cheese because of the, I don't know, the penicillin or something. So yes, I guess the point of this all is mold may be causing your health issues, but I would encourage you to not look at your health as being triggered by one thing, but to try to address everything. And it's a slow process. Things can take a long time to undo, but the point is that you're moving in the right direction, and that you're not just a victim to your circumstances. Like I said, if mold's a huge issue, of course, you're gonna probably need to leave your house, but I just like to look at everything in reality. And also, one thing I wanna warn about is, I also have clients that move into a brand new house that they've built, and all of a sudden their children start going crazy and reacting and having all these regressions. And just like mold, which is old, wet, damp, toxicity can cause problems, so can the brand new house. So just don't think that you're going to move out of your moldy house and into a brand new one and all your problems are going to go away, because now you might just be exposed to more of that paint and the new carpet and the bromide in the mattress and all these new elements that are toxic and off-gassing in your system and causing toxicity and more health problems. So basically, if mold's really an issue, do what you have to do. That's totally up for you to decide. But I would also encourage you, as always, to look at your body in a holistic way. See what other ways you can take off the burden, removing refined sugar, removing your top allergens, having a nourishing CAPS, healing diet, because when you heal your gut lining, it opens up your detox pathways. It lowers your histamine, it lowers your your allergic reactions to stuff. I hear my baby in there yelling for me. So sorry if this is a bit of a ramble, but someone actually said they really liked my organic, natural rambles. So anyway, if that's you, or you kind of see this mold boogeyman running around and people saying mold's the issue, I don't want to say don't believe it. You can definitely look into it, and you might really need to move and change your situation, but see what you can do otherwise to take the burden off your body so that your body can process that better. Because if your gut's working well, you've done the GAPS protocol, you can probably be in a moldy environment and not be reacting. And yeah, sure, you don't want to live in that environment, but you want to be able to cope and handle things and not just feel like you can't handle anything. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. As always, I don't like to bring up problems that don't have a solution. You know, I don't feel good about telling people you have to move your home and sell your home and go through all that in order to get well. Some people have no problem saying that. I just try to be a little bit more realistic, and it's like, okay, what can we do now that's doable, rather than, hey, uproot your whole life and change everything so that you don't have this problem anymore. I really like to get to more of the doable things, and I like for there to be hope and easy answers, not just this massive huge life change that will hopefully help. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have problems with mold, or maybe if you've seen benefits from moving or getting out of a moldy environment, or if you've seen, yourself have less of a reaction to things like mold and external things like pollen after you heal your gut with the GAPS protocol. I'd love to know what you think.